I'm getting a little worried. But the Wirtz deal is it's taking some time, right? And but also talk about maybe what the alternative may look like if these two deals, the Kirkes and the Wirtz deal, don't go through.
Florian Wirtz to Liverpool. Here we go. The deal is now verbally agreed between Liverpool and Bayer Leverkusen for the German super talent. The deal is in place since long time with a player who only wanted Liverpool despite approaches from several clubs.
Oh, we signed him. We don't even gotta finish the video, dog. Damn, I was editing that video as well. Florian versus Liverpool. Quick reaction. Everything that I've been saying before. This is a generational signing, and everything that I just mentioned in this video, and that I will mention in this video. Maybe I'll play it after this, before this. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but he's worth the money. He's worth the money. He's worth what we're paying for. 140 million guaranteed, 10 million in add-ons, and this feels a lot like the 75 million, VVD signing, where everyone's saying that's too expensive for a center back, that's too expensive for a defensive player, and it turns out to be probably our greatest signing in our recent history. I think that the deal potentially maybe wasn't as further along as we thought it was, or maybe was let off in the media, and I think it's because the deal leaked early. I think the deal leaked a lot earlier than what we typically like as a Liverpool football club. We typically are thieves in the night, right? Where we come in, where there's interest in the player, and he's our player within a week, sometimes within 24 hours, sometimes within 2 and 3 days, with our history. But we're talking about 150 million. The most expensive players, I'll pop it up here on the screen. The top 10 players that we've seen: Neymar number 1, Mbappe, Wirtz would be number 3. And if you look at the rest of the guys on this list, I think I could confidently say that Wirtz is better than most of these players on this list. If not much better, right? Than the players that we see on this list, and have potential to have a career equal to the guys above them, right? So with that being said, with these types of players, it comes with the territory of you're gonna pay a lot of money, and it's gonna take a lot of time to get these deals done. And I remember everyone said that's way too much money for a center back. Unbelievable. I can't believe Liverpool is paying this much money. Same thing with Alisson, by the way. In the record-breaking goalkeeper, record-breaking center back, and now we have a record-breaking midfielder to add to our books in Florian Wirtz, and it can't get better than this, man. Don't let any of the rival fans out there tell you that this move isn't worth the money. The juice isn't worth the squeeze. The wait was not worth it. It will be. We have a generational talent on our hand who could potentially become as good as those guys that I mentioned on that list of most expensive players, with only Mbappe and Neymar being more expensive than him. And if we're going to gauge it off of value for the talent of player based off of this list, I think we're in a really safe spot. I think we're in a really, really safe spot when it comes to that. I mean, given how good Mbappe is, how good Neymar was, and all of the names that are on that top 10 list, Florian Wirtz adds to the list, and this is a huge, massive statement for Liverpool FC, and it's a massive statement for their ownership group in FSG, where so many people have thought that FSG is, they're cheapskates, they're leaking the money, the team dry of money, they're stealing, they're pocketing, whatever you want to call it, the whole FSG out crew, which is very quiet right now, by the way. It turns out that that's not true. And maybe I'll do another video on what I think actually has been going on the last handful of years, entitled Merseyside Monster 3, where I think maybe there was a certain someone that was, leading the club that didn't want to sign these players. And I don't think that was maybe a thought that never came across our mind when we were, kind of going through these moments where we weren't signing top talents. Maybe there was people in charge that thought that wasn't football, and that wasn't a part of what made it great and made it special. And I believe in both fields of thoughts. I think you do need to stay competitive given where the sport is and how it's advancing. And signings like this in today's market is just normal. That's just, it comes with the territory. Like I mentioned before, it comes with the territory with these types of signings and these types of talents. You pay for those types of talents. And we're having if he's a Cristiano Ronaldo or a Messi or half of that, let's just say half of that, or Neymar level, it's worth the 150. It's worth the 150. You look at players like Lamine Yamal, you look at Nico Williams, you look at Desiree Dure, all of these guys in that age bracket that Wirtz is in the 17 to 20, 21, 22-year-old range, and what they're doing in world football, that is the next generation of player. And the fact that we have just acquired one of the next big mega stars in all of world football is a huge feather in FSG's cap. Michael Edwards, Ricky Hughes, who's in our Discord. If you aren't in our Discord, join our Discord. And Arne Slot, who has been able to work a true miracle with this Liverpool team. Or maybe it's not. Maybe we can stop calling it a miracle and start saying that we actually have had one of the best teams in Europe for the past handful of years. It just needed the right type of tactical setup, the right guidance to take it to the next level that it needed to go. Because I'm looking at, some of the performances I'm seeing from McAllister at the end of the season. Ryan Gravenberch has been fantastic all season, and Dominic Szoboszlai towards the tail end of this season, really all season, but really towards the tail end of this season. And of course, now that he's playing for Hungary, we really are being able to see what he can do. And maybe there's some shifting and some changing in this side. Now that we do have Florian Wirtz, maybe he plays as a false nine. And, he lets Salah and Frimpong and Kirkes and Gakpo and Diaz run in beyond him so he can just be a master playmaker like he is and put in, gravity-defying passes into the path of Salah so he can bag 60 goals in a season. I can't wait to see that, by the way, guys. I don't think that's a part of it that we're not really talking about enough, is that Florian Wirtz is being paired with some of the best players in the world right now, in Mohamed Salah and VVD and Gakpo and Diaz and Kirkes coming in, Frimpong, his best friend, Alexis McAllister in the midfield with Florian Wirtz, Szoboszlai on the form that he's on, Ryan Gravenberch, who is a wonder kid in his own right, just won, PFA Young Player of the Year. And I think sometimes we forget how young Ryan Gravenberch actually is because he plays so mature. But this midfield is pretty much set for the next 10 years, guys. And I'm hearing that we are potentially going after some attackers as well. I'm very interested in where that develops. In the original video that I was going to do, I was going to talk about Luis Openda. Hopefully Luis Openda is on that list. I really like Alberto Moliero, who's a part of Las Palmas, who just got relegated. Fantastic dribbler. Magnus Aquiluche, just to name a few, some of those players that I think would fit in really, really well with this side, or even going after another left winger if Diaz decides to move on. There's strong interest from Barcelona, which is his dream club. I don't think he's going to go to the Middle East. I love Alex Baena as an option on that left-hand side to work in with Gakpo, who is aggressively creative. These are just some of the names I'm throwing out there because this was going to be the list of guys that I was going to say we could potentially buy for the money for Wirtz, but it seems that the checkbook is open. There's going to be some people going out of the door that will help cushion the blow of this sale. Believe that. I think Nunes probably goes. Elliott probably goes. Simicas probably goes when Kirkes comes in. Gomez might get a move away. I think some of those fringe players like Tyler Morton will get a move away, maybe Ben Doak, and a lot of those funds that we just spent will come right back in. So I wouldn't even be worried about how much we spent on one player because, guys, remember, you guys, we're ran by some of the most financially savvy people on the planet in FSG, and the most financially savvy sporting director in Michael Edwards. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about the price. Just be happy we got a superstar mega talent. And this is probably the biggest star that we've signed, ready-made star that we've signed, who's about to light up the Premier League, man. Get excited. Florian Wirtz is a Liverpool player, baby. Let's go. Come on. You guys got to tell me, what number do you think he's going to take? So I don't know. We'll see. I think he's going to be number 9. I ain't gonna lie. I think he's gonna be number 9. A lot of people are saying, give him the 10, give him the... Nah, Macca, that's Macca's number. But if Nunes goes, Expect 9, maybe 7 if Diaz goes. But let me know what you guys think down below. How do we finish out this transfer window? What do we need next? I do think we need another center back, especially if Konate doesn't sign another contract. I'm a big fan of Gerald Hato. Please bring him in. Maybe a holding DM, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening with that. But definitely an attacker is on the docket for Liverpool. So keep an eye out for that. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. What a day. It feels good to be a Liverpool fan. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.